The Wizard invites you to his Mystery Funhouse, where you journey through his many mysterious corridors and unusual rooms, then enter his inner sanctum, if you dare.
The early 70s was an exciting time to be in Orlando in the years following Walt Disney World's opening in 1971. In 1972, two companies came together, Major Realty, a prominent real estate development firm, and Gulf Oil Real Estate to create a project known as the Florida Center. It was to be located on 2,700 acres of land, which now is the site of Universal Orlando. Located on Major Boulevard, a preview center for the project was built, opening in 1973. This opening of the preview center was attended by Florida Governor Reuben Askew, along with many other local politicians. The building would also house a preview of SeaWorld before it was built the same year. By 1975 though, the country was in recession, and the plans for the Florida Center were cancelled. The building housing the preview center though would have a new purpose, the Mystery Funhouse. A team of founders, including David Siegel, would create a tourist attraction. David Siegel arrived in Orlando in 1968, where at first he sold raw land over the phone for various different companies. After being part owner and founder, he took over full ownership of the Mystery Funhouse shortly after. Later on, he would go on to found WestGate Resorts, a Florida-based timeshare resort firm, in 1982. Opening in March 1976, the Funhouse would open with 10 rooms and increase over its time to 15. In a Victorian mansion-themed entrance, visitors came to expect the unexpected, and the attraction was open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Entrance was $2 per adults in its opening year. The Mystery Funhouse was managed by David Siegel's friend Jeff Spangler. He was actually the manager of the attraction for the whole nearly 25 years that the attraction operated. Once you entered the building, you would be greeted by the glass corridor and mirror maze. After feeling your way through, you exited into a dark room with the sounds of broken glass. This effect was actually quite startling the first time you went through. The second chamber was a room to confuse your senses. The Tipsy Topsy room, later called the Egyptian Tomb, had walls with different perspectives and a ramp that appeared to head down but actually went up. It offered many other special confusing effects throughout. The next room was the Music Room, which later became the Enchanted Forest. Originally it had a lighted disco floor and a hologram projector showing a couple dancing. It was replaced with a tunnel and maze system called the Enchanted Forest. Later, the Forbidden Temple set was added. It contained a pit where the floor would separate, showing hot lava below. Guests would walk across a glass floor, but it did give the effect that you were going to fall. Moonscape was a room with foam walls and floors, which felt like you were sinking into the floor. It was removed and replaced by a cavern called the Catacombs. Chamber of the Zodiac would feature a colourful maze with small rooms leading off of it. It also had a fortune-telling mirror that told you about some of your personal traits. Parlour of Palms, or the Transformation Room, and then Chamber of Horrors. The room featured different effects over time, including a jail cell and a transforming werewolf scene. In the Wizard's Dungeon, you saw a pendulum swinging over a table. The Grand Illusions Room, or the Inner Sanctum as it was later called, featured a light show synchronized to music. It later became the Wizard's Magic Show. So, as you can see, there were many different features and rooms that existed during the lifetime of the Mystery Funhouse. Many of these changed over time, were adapted, or completely removed. So there was constant change inside the attraction throughout its lifetime. There was quite a lot of fun to be had inside. Different from what the other big parks in the area were offering, but some people preferred that. In 1988, the Funhouse added Starbase Omega, a high-tech laser tag game.
Warrior, your job now is to suit up, test your skills, and achieve the highest score. Accept the challenge at Starbase Omega.
Located in the 5,000 square foot dome at the back of the building, players would arrive via a transport changer that simulated you travelling down to a remote planet with audio and visual effects. With Universal Studios opening nearby to try and attract people visiting, in 1991 they added a large 30-foot wizard sign at the entrance of the attraction, and also featured a miniature golf course. Originally called Mystery Mini Golf, it was later rethemed to Jurassic Putt Different dinosaurs were added for theming. The miniature golf course was an 18-hole course and was one of the first in the area at the time. The building also included an arcade, which again also grew over time, as well as the magic shop. The magic shop is interesting actually, as it was created by magician Dan Stapleton. Dan Stapleton worked as a magician at Walt Disney World before this, offering demonstrations, and says to include one levitating Mickey Mouse in front of Cinderella's castle. Dan was asked to build and design the Mystery Funhouse magic shop and left Disney to do so. After this, he moved on to working at Circus World, but that's a different story altogether for a different day. The building actually had 2 movies filmed in it. One was the birthday scene from Parenthood with Steve Martin in 1989.
Dad, let me handle it, okay? Kevin, do you want me to help you to get your money back?
No, can we just go? I want to go.
And then the other was filmed after the attraction closed. It was called Night Terror, and David Siegel produced and even cameoed in the movie.
Psycho killer who escaped from the asylum was killed by the cops in the Mystery Funhouse. You guys don't remember this?
This is one movie that you don't want to miss. The Mystery Funhouse existed for nearly 25 years before it closed on January 21st, 2001. This is said to be mostly due to the competition from larger tourist attractions in the area. The property was put up for sale for $6 million, but ultimately was not sold. Parts of the building continue to house some employees of the timeshare company in various roles, including technical support. So what happened to it? Well, to be honest, nothing. It was basically left abandoned and still is to this day. The building was used as a location for new employee training for WestGate Resorts. It must be slightly odd to arrive to this odd abandoned funhouse on your first day of work. The lobby for the building was also used as a check-in area for WestGate Resorts timeshares. The building itself remains in 2018, and the tent housing the old Starbase Omega Arena has suffered badly from hurricanes. The roof of this tent actually collapsed in after Hurricane Irma in 2017. At the time, it was being used to store some kind of document for WestGate Resorts. 15 years later, the fun has changed to eeriness, as figures and remnants from the past still exist abandoned. The old mini golf course is still there, and the wizard was removed from the front of the building and actually laid on the floor at the back of the building for multiple years before it was removed. Recently, I walked past this ruined building when walking back from Universal, and it's fascinating to see it still standing there. I do really wish I could go back in time and visit this attraction in its prime, but there's no doubt the attraction has become outdated and couldn't have continued to operate without changes. Opinions on the attraction seem to be diverse, with many fans claiming how it was great and more fun than Disney, while others claiming it to be a cheap, tacky tourist trap, and it was rumoured to be quite scary for younger children, which, if you look at this image from the attraction, you might see why. For 15 years now though, this huge building has barely been used other than for a small section, and most of it has been left abandoned. It's pretty odd considering the size and scope of this building and the location related to the major tourist attractions. Rumours constantly circulated for years about the original Mystery Funhouse being reborn using new technology. People even found job postings online and related them to this place, but as of yet, the building still stands abandoned as a memory of years gone past. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. Did you visit the Mystery Funhouse in Orlando? We would love to hear your memories of the place, so please leave a comment below. If you would like to support the channel, we now have a Patreon with exclusive content, Q&As, and the chance to see the next episode early each week. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.